Yellow Jacob. And today, let's go ahead and discuss the Week 8 Minnesota Vikings matchup / preview. So without further ado, let's get into it. So yeah, the Minnesota Vikings will be taking on the Arizona Cardinals at home, coming off of what can only be described as a very, very good bye week. So yeah, for that, well, cheers. Because, yeah, let's just say because of that loss to the Commanders, the Vikings are 2.5 games atop the NFC North. Granted, that doesn't mean anything as we move forward because, well, we still got more than half the season to go. So, and their first opponent post-bye week is none other than the Arizona Cardinals, who are about as easy to predict as, well, an earthquake in the Sahara. I mean, one week they look like a playoff contender. The next week, they're all trying to fire Cliff Kingsbury. You know, Kyler Murray isn't it, this, that, and the other thing. So we really have no idea. But what I do know is they still have Kyler Murray, who, in my opinion, is public enemy number one. We have to shut him down. Limit his mobility. Limit his decision-making. Limit what he can do. Because he's a mobile quarterback. And remember, last year when we played him, there was no defense to be found. And the only reason we lost that game in Arizona is because Greg Joseph missed a field goal. Again, I don't have to think I have to go much more into that. I know, different year, different regime, this, that, and the other things. So, but yeah. So that's basically the number one thing we have to do there. Slow down and limit Kyler Murray. And also now we have to worry about DeAndre Hopkins, who is back and a very dangerous receiver when healthy. I mean, just ask Buffalo a couple of years ago how that went for them. And arguably one of the greatest Hail Marys I've ever seen. So he's dangerous. Zach Ertz is still a good tight end. They also now have Robbie Anderson. I don't think Hollywood Brown is playing this week. He may or may not. I know he's had some injuries, and I know he's been out for a couple of games. So, again, we'll wait and see there. But, yeah, I mean, they have some offensive weapons there. And their defense is very young, very raw, very hot and cold. J.J. Watt is still a serviceable player, and well, he just recently had a baby, so congratulations to him and his family. Byron Murphy Jr. is a young upcoming corner. Budda Baker is a solid player. Isaiah Simmons is a guy we have to keep an eye on. So while overall they may not have a lot of what you consider big weapons, or their team is a very, very big question mark, you can't deny the fact that they are very, very dangerous. However, though, this team, like I say, has been so hot or cold this year that it's really hard to gauge just what team will show up. Are we going to get the team that, came back against the Raiders from being like 20-plus down, came back and just mollywomped the Saints last Thursday? Or, like I say, are we going to get the Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals team that wants everybody fired? So, again, this team is going to be so weird to see. And also, just very hard to gauge, as I've mentioned several times in this video. But that's literally what they are. I mean, they're a team that has all the talent, all the ability in the world, and has made the playoffs, but they've also been a team that has started off hotter than hot and then literally limped their way into basically everything. Like, their last few postseasons, they've limped their way into them, basically. I mean, so yeah, I mean, again, we'll just wait and see there. Now, also kind of going back to the Vikings side of things here, What I'm going to be interested to see is just how much different does this team look? What have they implemented? What have they added? What have they cleaned up? What still needs to be cleaned up? Now that the bye week is over with and they've had a chance to, add some stuff, maybe tweak some stuff, I'll be curious to see. Because again, the bye week is over with. We're now about 7 weeks in. This team is 5-1, considering we've had a lot of very, very, very close games, including some of them that, frankly, shouldn't have been as close as they were. But again, brand new regime, brand new schemes, a lot of players still trying to learn their roles. I mean, we'll just wait and see. But hopefully we can clean up on defense. Maybe do a little more pressuring. Maybe not quite as deep. And stuff like that. But again, I would prefer a little more push. A little more aggressiveness on the defense. Because again, it's going to be one of those things where we're going to have to stop Kyler Murray, who is a very good mobile quarterback. DeAndre Hopkins, Robbie Anderson, Zach Ertz. They got some offensive weapons. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be Eno Benjamin that's going to be carrying the rock a lot. Who's played pretty well. So. And yeah, hopefully Kirk Cousins and the offense can just keep on firing. I mean, so far, we've been looking pretty good. I mean, all things considered, I love how we're utilizing Jefferson. I wish Thielen was a little more going. Osborne, like to see a little more of those guys too here, but who knows? I mean, the trade deadline is about 4 or 5 days away. The Vikings could move something here. Or trade or, get something. Because the Vikings aren't afraid to necessarily pull the trigger or get rid of things. But even if we, just roll with the same group that we've been rolling with, who knows? I mean, again, we're 5-1 after not looking the greatest. Let's just be honest here. How sustainable is this? Hopefully we can, piece together some more wins that are a little bit more convincing and not like 8-point games, 1-possession games all the time. So, yeah, no, that'll basically wrap it up. Again, this is going to be a very, very tough matchup. It could potentially be a very high-scoring game. It's just who can get it done at the right time. Can we slow down that offense with Kyler Murray? How does our team look? What have we adjusted? How is everything gelling now that we're post-bye week? Have they added anything? Have they taken away anything? Who knows? So, because then after the Cardinals, then I believe, I'd have to double check, but I want to say it's the Commanders coming up soon. I mean, we got a very favorable matchup coming up after we get done with Arizona. In fact, most of the games upcoming are at home. Other than, I think, a game in Washington. And I have to remember what's after that. But yeah, I mean, it's a very favorable matchup. So, but again, we'll focus on after the Cardinals. Well, after the Cardinals. So, one game at a time. Let's get it to 6-1. Let's prove that we are as good as our record indicates, and we're not just getting lucky. And again, I'm excited to see what the rest of this year has in store for us. I mean, I liked what I've seen so far. I like what our coaching staff has been doing, minus the defense being a little more of an open sieve than I would necessarily like. But again, at the end of the day, we're winning the games we're supposed to be winning. Maybe not by as much as I would like to see, but again, there's no such thing as a perfect game other than maybe once or twice a season for any team. So, yeah, that'll conclude today's video. Also, stay tuned, though, because, well, I believe tomorrow I have a little something coming in the mail from Dick's Sporting Goods. That has to deal with one of the massive trades that the NFL has had pre-trade deadline. So, just have to wait and see. And until we meet again, this is Jacob. Have a good day.